Now, if you try to tell me I didn't eat this look up, I'm gonna have no choice but to call you a hater. My biggest hater. Welcome to part 2 of creating Olandria's Love Island makeup look. This is the part where we actually put makeup on our face. Sorry about the other one. It was just a little tease, but we had to get the skin prepped, okay? Like we work on a hydrated base. Fight with your mama, don't fight with me, okay? Now, to ensure that our makeup stays up in that Fiji heat, we're gonna start with 2 primers. Okay, so we're gonna go with the one size. This is the oil sucker primer. It is their extreme mattifying alkaline primer, and then we also have Danessa Myricks. Yes ma'am. This is the yummy skin blurring balm powder, and this is in the shade 10. Not gonna lie, when I first swiped her, I was devastated because they ruined the perfect packaging, but you know what, it's fine, we'll survive. So let's just get that on. Put in my T-zone because that's where I get the oiliest. Honestly, my whole face began kind of oily, but we're gonna use the Nessamyrix for the remainder of my face, but mainly my forehead, under my eyes, honestly on top of my eyelids too. My eyelids get super oily. Now that we look ghostly, we're going to take the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm and we are going to apply it to the outer edges of our face. Try to leave under my eyes alone so we can just focus the concealer there. Just gonna put a bit of this blurring balm here and we're gonna drag it down to our neck. And feel free to get a little bit more for additional coverage. Olandria has nice, even, glowy skin, and so that's why we are using this, because I love the formula of the blurring balm. It's glowy, but then it dries down matte like a powder. It's very skin-like. I'm gonna start a little bit unorthodox with this makeup look. We're gonna start with blush. And I know, I hear it now. The blush usually goes on top, or it's like one of the last things, but I feel like with Olandria's, her blush is very like controlled, like right here, and I feel like if we put it on last, then it might like overtake the rest of our face. I do want to have a bit more control of the blush. I am getting like an angled brush, so I feel like I can stipple in the exact area that I want, and I'm just going right on my cheekbone and going up. And I chose an orange blush and a pink blush. We're gonna do like a bit of an ombre look because I feel like Olandria really does orange and pink. Like she really oscillates between those two, and so I kind of want to give space for both of them. We're creating space for both of them, and so, and you know, we're using the Juvia's Place blushes, so we gotta be careful because these babies are pigmented. And I think that's so beautiful. And so I also will take another clean brush and just make sure everything is like blended, the edges are nice and soft. Now, since we already started off wonky, we're just gonna keep going. Instead of using my regular contour, we are going to go in with this is the NYX Bear With Me Blur, and this is in their shade Java. I use this because I feel like Olandria has a pretty she has pretty high cheekbones, and so I feel like that contour for me just needs to be a bit deep to really bring forth the front of my face. So we're just gonna go right under the blush, and this is kind of like where the hollow of my cheek is, and so I just placed it there and then I blend upward. And as you see, it's starting to cut into the blush. And your placement does not have to be perfect on the first try. Honestly, I usually just go in with a brush to place everything, and then I go in again with another brush to blend everything. And so I'm all about blending and making sure everything looks cohesive and natural. So yeah, again, I'm going in with the brush and I'm going in between them and making sure that everything is blended beautifully. See? That is a lot different than this. And on the forehead too. Make sure we do the nose as well. Perfect. My girl does also have a very defined jawline, so we're just gonna go underneath my jaw and kind of buff in some of this contour and bring it down to help bring my chin forward a little bit, like just around that edge. Yep. And then we're gonna blend that into my neck. Miss Olandria's concealer is bright, but we are going to be building. One thing that she does that I be a little spooked on is she only puts concealer under her eyeballs. I am definitely like a forehead, chin, like nose, was it cheekbones type girly, and I might do a little bit of reverse contour just to further like bring that face up a bit more. But this is like, I'm like freaking out just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. Now our girl Olandria seems like a full coverage girly, so we are going to blend this all in with a brush. And so we are just going to take that product, bring it up a bit, look up with it, and we're going to bring it out to the sides of our faces because we know that her highlight, it goes all the way over. Yes. Yes. Now to the other side. Whenever I do like makeup looks inspired by other people, I'm like fighting myself not to do like the stuff that I always do. And so it is literally such a battle. Now I'm looking at her makeup and I think we actually can get away with doing a little bit of reverse contouring just to angle up our face a bit to make it more like hers. But what we're gonna do is we're not gonna add any additional product. We are literally just going to take any excess product from our concealer here that is left on our brush after blending, and we're gonna take that to go underneath and cut it. Yeah, so I feel like that made our cheekbones and just the sides of our face a bit more defined, which I like. We are gonna go in and add a little bit more concealer. I tried to pick like my yellowish shade because she does tend to go for more of like a yellowish golden color. Now that is not my color, so we're gonna see how this lands, but in Olandria we trust. And just a PSA for my girlies who are looking for a good concealer, the black opal concealers, oh my gosh, they're like drugstore concealers and they are so good. Do you see how creamy that is? And when I blend out, you're gonna love it. I have like a bunch. I have a bunch of these black opal concealers. Some of them are repeat colors just because I had to go back and re-up, and like this is not my first like restock, but they're just so good. I love the shade range. This isn't even all of them. This is not the lightest or I don't think the darkest shades in them, but they were just so beautiful, and I felt like I could use these concealers for every single part of my makeup look. So I mean, I know this, you know, ain't no promo video, but I'm trying to put my girlies on, okay? And the shade I use for this is Proper Penny. Okay, so now we are going to blend again. Oh my goodness. In Olandria we trust. Make sure to stipple that into the sides of my nose. Make sure to get right under that eye. We are going to go back in with a blending brush just to blend out the blush and the concealer. Make sure that line isn't too harsh, and to pick up any additional product. And then I'm gonna go back in with this blush brush and add some more blush to our face to make sure it's still all there. Beautiful. Now for setting, I usually go in with a loose powder first, but I don't have like a yellowish loose powder. So we're gonna go in with the Maybelline Superstay 340. I feel like this is a pretty golden yellow, and we're just gonna stretch out, you know, our face down so that way we don't set the creases. Yeah, that is nice and golden. Just gonna tap off the excess and then bring it up and press that in real good. Same on to our other side. Now I'm still gonna go in with a loose powder to bake because I feel like my good sis is, you know, a baker. Actually, I guess I could have used this because I feel like this is kind of yellowish. This is the COL-LAB sand/beige setting powder. Just gonna take a bit of that. I feel like it's more neutral though. I don't know. Not sure. Yeah. That is perfect. Yeah. I feel like I look I look like that one picture of Olandria when she's getting ready. I'm gonna insert it right here. Now let's add some color back into our face. So this is the L'Oreal True Match in the shade N11 because this is my skin shade match, and we're just gonna buff out the edges of that brightening powder and just go over everything that we had previously put any product over except for our bright under eye. That includes forehead and all. Now I'm going to go in with the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Palette in Dark to Deep. I'm going to take this dark contour shade on a flat brush. I'm going to lightly put that right there. It's very deep. I'm also going to go around the perimeter of my forehead with it. And I don't know, for Olandria's nose, I think she contours, but I don't know if she highlights it. Because I don't really see any highlight, but it does look a bit like it was touched, you know? And I have a button nose, but I think she might actually just have a straight down bridge. So I might have to remove this contour that I just put there. And then with this brush that we use for our foundation, we're going to go through and buff that. Buff, buff, buff. We want it real nice and smooth. I need it to blend in with that blush. And I'm brushing it up. Yeah. And also over my nose because I don't want it to be too dark. And hopefully that dusts off some of that contour right over the bridge. Now I don't have an orange blush, so we are going to use this Juvia's Place Volume 5 blush to add a bit more color back onto our face. And we're just going right underneath where we highlighted and in between that contour. And we're just gonna go right across. You know, you can make it a little bit wider around this time. And then to add a bit of that orange, I'm going in with the Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian palette, and I chose the shade Morocco. Dab off that excess, and I'm just gonna dab that over it a bit to warm up this pink. Just a tad bit. I feel like this is a bit more true to her blush color. I can't tell if she has a tad bit of blush on her nose. So just put a little bit. Now I am big slacking because I did not do my brows. This is the Super Lock Maybelline brow glue, and we're just gonna lightly brush those up. She doesn't do much with her brows, but they are pretty arched and sculpted. So I used the brow brush to coat my brows in the gel, but then I use a regular spoolie to just brush them up, and then I swipe across to bring them down. You've got Maybelline all on the eyes, so we're just gonna take, this is the Maybelline Hyper Ease in Pitch Brown, fill in any blank spaces. I think her brows arch up and then go a bit more out than mine do, so I'm just gonna draw that on, and we're just gonna cut off the excess of mine with a bit of concealer. Okay. I feel like this one's already pretty similar to what she has, so I can just go out with it. Super arched. Okay. A bit in the front. Oof. Child, I gotta make sure I make these look like sisters, because right now they looking like uncles. I do feel like her eyebrows are a little bit darker, so now I'm gonna go in. This is the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner stick, and I'm just going to fill this a bit in to make it a little bit darker. And we're gonna be following the one that I do want to keep. Yeah. Ooh. Not too much. Oh my gosh, this is so much darker than I originally wanted, but I feel like I'm looking at her stuff and it's dark, and I think because I have the blonde hair it might look a little bit too dark, but her eyebrows do look dark. They look dark and full. Gonna brush up to disperse a bit of more of the product now. I'm gonna go in with the Black Opal concealer. This is in Nice and Noir because it doesn't really look like she has much product under her brows. Maybe like a little bit of lightness, but for the most part it looks like it's, you know, the same as her complexion. And so I'm gonna take this and just gonna trace underneath my brow. Oh, this brush is janky, y'all. And then I'm gonna bring that onto my lid so that way we can have a nice base for our eyeshadow. I am gonna carve the top of my brow just for consistency's sake, because the top of the brow I feel like is where I'm having like the most issue with making it look like hers. I think this is a bit thinner on hers. Hold on. Make that baby thin. Oh my gosh, it's thinner. Her arch is so thin. Okay, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I think this is as thin as I could go without looking a little, you know, wonky. See, I feel like that one turned out so much better. And then I was like, where'd the concealer go? I like this shade because it's like a nice chocolatey, like rich, like this is so chocolatey. I think this is the shade that I use for like my skin tone if I just want to do like a concealer only look. Then we're just gonna blend that out. Oh, this is so pretty. And then just make sure we buff out any concealer that we used on the top. And I just bring it down the bridge of my nose. Make sure I actually got rid of that freaking contour. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. It was just instinct. I told you I'll be having to fight my own instincts while I'm doing like inspiration based makeup. Okay, now for the eye look, we're gonna go in with the Juvia's Place. This is their Bronze Deep Dark palette into the bottom shade, and we're just gonna pop that onto our lid just to give us a little bit of depth. She doesn't usually honestly wear eyeshadow, so we're only doing this to have some evenness, and then we're gonna hit the eyeliner because her lids just look dark and lovely and a bit winged out. Now my good sis has tight lined if I've ever seen a tight line, but for this I'm gonna have to pay attention. I'm actually gonna have to take my powder puff so I don't disrupt the makeup. Take it and that was rough. I went on the actual like waterline, and then I went a little bit underneath it because she does look like she has a bit of depth there too. Beautiful. Now we're gonna do the top. Honestly, I feel like the top is so much harder. Oh my gosh. Hold on, y'all. There we go. I'm just gonna take that same eyeliner and just smudge out that line. I don't think it has to be super clean. It just looks a bit smudgy. And then NYX, I've been seeing this epic liner everywhere. We're just going to do a liner, a wing. So pigmented. Girl be eating up that wing. And then she does have like an inner corner, so flick out that inner corner and like meet at the bottom. And do the other side. Goes a little bit up. And then inner corner. I don't know. Something about her look is making me feel like I need to go in with this deep contour shade and just like smudge everything out real quick. It just looks a bit like darker and like, you know, a little bit more seductress than what I have. So I'm just gonna go in, smudge everything out with that dark shade. I think that's a lot better. In Love Island fashion, we're going to go in with the Maybelline Colossal mascara. I don't think I have the same one that they did, but I'm like, is that a new launch, or is this like the same one, different packaging? I don't know. We're gonna pop on some lashes, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna do this off camera because I don't need to embarrass myself like that. Now that we have our lashes on, we're gonna do some bottom mascara. Okay, the eyes are looking good. I'm gonna go do the lips in another video. BRB. Okay, we're back with the lip. Yeah, she's cute. Now, how to take off the rest of this powder, you ask? We take that same powder puff that we have. We do not add anything else on there. Honestly, you could dab off any excess if you want to. We're just gonna go in, press all that powder in to make sure it's nice and set. Just put a little bit on my nose, just a tad bit. And then we're gonna take a fluffy brush and just wipe. Make sure it's a clean one too. I don't wanna wipe. And then you're gonna use that same brush and you're just gonna blend anything that has too harsh of a line. So wipe and blend. We are gonna add back just a smidge dib. Now any finishing touches, we're just gonna take brush and blend everything in seamlessly down on the neck. And I recommend taking this skin tone powder and just lightly brushing it onto your chest. Just make everything look nice and smooth. Now to lock everything in, we're going with the Makeup Revolution Infinite Mattifying Setting Spray. I love this setting spray. Honestly, one of the best setting sprays on the market to me. Melts everything in, dries down matte, and my makeup lasts all day when I have this on. And I basically dry myself in it. And I go in with a fan and just dry this down. Now, if you try to tell me I didn't eat this look up, I'm gonna have no choice but to call you a hater. My biggest hater. Because look at the material. We're twins. I got the outfit, I got the hair, I got the makeup. Yes. Honestly, love this. Thank you so much, Olandria. Follow my page for more makeup looks. I'm gonna do Shelly next. Bye. And I call you Rose.